When Biden came at the helm of affairs back in January this year, he had a clear agenda in his mind to unseat Mohammed bin Salman, the de facto ruler of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He embarked on a sinister campaign by undermining his leadership. Instead, Biden embraced Iran while the US kept assaulting the Abraham Accords in one way or the other. No one from the Biden administration would visit him or call him. Biden had famously vowed on the campaign trail to make them the pariah that they are, and the things seemed trudging ahead in that direction only. But a mere 8 months later, Biden's pursuit of the anti-MBS campaign has been driven into the grounds. Biden administration is meekly prostrating before MBS to keep its interests afloat in the region. Hi and welcome. This is TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Siddharth, and in this video, I will tell you how Biden is now striving to mend his ties with the powerful leader of Saudi Arabia after losing the entire Middle Eastern region to its rivals in the last 9 months. Let's begin. When Joe Biden assumed the US presidency in January this year, he had a clear agenda of ostracizing the powerful ruler of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. 9 months down the line, Biden has meekly rolled back his anti-MBS pursuit as he realizes that MBS support is vital to keep the American interests afloat in the Middle Eastern region. So, the Biden administration is prostrating before MBS with the same vigor as it showed months back while embarking on a sinister campaign to undermine his authority over the kingdom. Last Monday, the Biden administration dispatched NSA Jake Sullivan to have discussions with MBS. Indeed, it was a sobering moment given Biden's reluctance in engaging the kingdom's de facto ruler in the previous months. After all, MBS was a persona non grata for Joe Biden from the campaign days, who had vowed to bring justice to the victims of 9/11 attacks and release a classified US intelligence report on the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. We are going to make them pay the price and make them, in fact, the pariah that they are. This is what Biden had said in an election campaign last year. Now, Biden did try to walk the talk after he assumed the presidency and announced to release the confidential intelligence reports signaling Mohammed bin Salman's glaring role in Khashoggi's murder. However, it was then when Joe Biden realized that taking on MBS won't be a cakewalk, as he had thought beforehand. Now, Joe Biden realized rupturing ties with MBS was lethal for US interests in the region. Hence, Biden chose to renege on his promise rather than punishing MBS that could result in blighting of ties between the US and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Biden did try to undermine MBS by prioritizing King Salman for diplomatic exchanges. Biden stoked tensions in the region by throwing his weight behind the Iranian regime. But if NSA Sullivan's visit to Saudi Arabia is any indication, Joe Biden is in no mood to carry on his anti-MBS campaign. In fact, he wants to bury the hatchet with the Saudi leadership and wants to collaborate on issues like Yemen, Iraq, and Lebanon. But Biden is not doing this openly. Interestingly, the Biden administration is downplaying the recent diplomatic exchange with the Saudi Arabian kingdom. The White House did not release any statement regarding the visit. However, Saudi Arabia unilaterally issued the statement mentioning that the US side is keen to bolster bilateral ties between Riyadh and Washington. The press release read, Sullivan stressed Washington's complete commitment to supporting Saudi Arabia as it defends itself against threats, including a ballistic missile and armed drone attacks by the Houthis. He emphasized US President Joe Biden's support for Saudi Arabia's goal to push forward a lasting political solution and ending the conflict in Yemen. All in all, while the Biden administration is in a quite precarious position on the issue of embracing MBS after despising him initially, Saudi Arabia is showing no qualms in highlighting Joe Biden's rapprochement. Biden's indifferent conduct towards the Arabs and Israel, along with his pampering of Iran, has rendered the US a non-entity in the region. Biden's incessant assault on the Abraham Accords further weakened the USA's credibility among its allies. Biden's indifference prompted the Arab world to look beyond Washington and forge closer ties with Russia. In August this year, Saudi Arabia and Russia signed an agreement to develop joint military cooperation between the two countries. In Moscow, Saudi Arabia's Deputy Defense Minister Prince Khalid bin Salman said, "We discussed our common endeavor to preserve stability and security in the region and reviewed shared challenges facing our countries." The Saudi Defense Minister had earlier met with his Russian counterpart, Sergei Shoigu, to explore ways to strengthen the military and defense cooperation between the two countries. On the other hand, Saudi Arabia launched peace talks with Iran that risked eradicating the USA's interest in the region altogether. Saudis and Iranians have already had 3 rounds of peace talks in Iraq, and the bilateral relations are expected to witness a thaw in the times to come. As per the Iranian side, serious progress has already been made towards resolving pending issues. Any reconciliation effort between the Saudis and Iran, the 2 fiercest rivals of the region, would essentially eradicate the scope of external interventions, and that's what's stoking tensions in the US lately. Biden's ill-thought campaign against MBS has been driven into the ground by Saudi Arabia's shrewd diplomacy. Biden has realized that Mohammed bin Salman's vindictive wrath will bode disastrous results for his foreign policy in the Middle East. Hence, prostrating before MBS seems the only way forward for Joe Biden as of now. Biden is finally waking up from the slumber after nearly losing the Middle Eastern region in its entirety.